Hello guys and welcome back to my Lorethrough series. After defeating Rennala in the last episode, we have two connected major quest lines left to discuss before moving to Altus Plateau. You might remember that at the end of my most popular video so far, the one on Godwyn's visage in Stormvale, we learned from Fia that Rogier seeks a black knife print to find out the truth behind the conspiracy of the Night of the Black Knives. She even gave us a map with the location of one of those knife prints. This location just so happens to be at the northeastern edge of Liurnia of the Lakes, past the Ul Palace ruins and the Black Knife catacombs. Going through these catacombs normally leads to the Cemetery Shade boss fight that awards some Twin Sage Sorcerer ashes and a piece of Deathroot. But just before the place you drop down to find the lever, there's a big illusory wall that hides another fog gate. Behind it is a this time unwounded Black Knife assassin that drops the Cerulean Dagger Talisman as well as the Black Knife print, the thing we were looking for. Let's bring it back to our dying sorcerer friend.
This is a black knife print. I can scarcely believe you managed to get your hands on this. You recall our conversation about the Night of the Black Knives, yes? They say the assassins who carried out the deed were scions of the Eternal City. A group entirely of women, arrayed in armor of silver under cloaks which fooled the eye. The knives they wielded, though, were imparted with the power of the Rune of Death through sinister rite. Please, I beg of you, lend me the knife print for a time. I'd love nothing more than to tease out its secrets. Though only a fragment, a very specific ritual had to be performed to impart the power of the Rune of Death. Traces of the one who performed the rite are sure to remain in the imprint. Half my body has been suffused with death. I'm certain it will help me see.
After we rest at the Round Table Hold, Rogier has finished his examination of the Black Knife print.
Hello. I was hoping to see you. My examination is complete. Here's the knife print back, with my thanks. Now I have a fairly good idea who performed the rite upon the blade. The person who orchestrated the Night of the Black Knives. Lunar Princess Ranni. One of the children born to King Consort Radagon and his first wife, Rennala. Demigod and sister to General Radahn and Praetor Rykard. Hers was the name I discovered in the imprint. Truly, you have my thanks. But if I might be so bold, I would like to ask something more of you. If Ranni truly is the one who plotted that fateful night, then she should bear the curse mark of destined death somewhere upon her flesh. I would like you to procure it for me. And then all will be laid bare. I will have the answers I have sought for so long. I have some idea of Ranni's potential whereabouts. There's a manor to the north of the Academy of Rea Lucaria. It is the familial home of the Carian royals, from whom Ranni descends. There's been talk of the old royals' vassals gathering there in recent years. Ranni's whereabouts since the shattering are a well-kept secret. She hasn't been seen even once, but I suspect she might have returned to the manor in which she was born.
Lunar Princess Ranni, the same Ranni that put the defense system for Rennala in place at the Academy. A demigod is behind the first death of a demigod. Before we pay a visit to Ranni's potential location to try and find the curse mark of death, let's first ask Rogier why he wants it.
I'm afraid there's something I must tell you. Do you know of those who live in death? The very notion of life in death defies the Golden Order. By Dee's account, these defiled fiends must be expunged. But truth be told, I seek the curse mark to save them. You may find this peculiar, but I discovered something in my examination of the Night of the Black Knives. These souls have committed no offense. They have every right to life, only they happen to touch upon a flaw in the Order. Yes, indeed. If Dee knew what drives me now, he would surely boil over with rage. Or perhaps he would even feel some pity. But no need to fret. None of that will come to pass. I can tell a good lie when I need to.
I already kind of hinted at this in one or two of my past videos. Those who live in death don't actually live in death by choice, and really haven't done anything wrong. Therefore, Rogier seeks the curse mark to save them. One thing he is not aware of is that Dee in fact knows that he's been seduced by those who live in death, as he puts it, and does in fact feel pity, just as he thought he would. Now that we know why we're going to Caria Manor, let's get on our way. On the road to the manor, we come across Blacksmith EG, who warns us not to go near the manor, as it is trapped and dangerous.
Look at you. We don't receive many visitors. I presume you are tarnished? What brings you here? Oh, pardon me. It's hardly my place to ask, is it? I am EG, a blacksmith who once served the Carian royals. An old codger who refuses to retire his rusty hammer. So here I am, still quietly plying my trade on this spot. Perhaps you'd like a display? These bones are old, but still able. Oh, watch out there. When I'm absorbed in my smithing, I lose sight of all else. If you come too close, I'm apt to cause you harm. I am, after all, terribly large compared to you, Tarnished. You don't know how hard it is not to break anything while I work. Brave Tarnished. A word of warning, if you please. This territory once belonged to the Carian royal family. Their manor lies not far beyond this point. When the Raya Lucari Academy turned on the Carians, the Knights of the Cuckoo descended on this tract. After leveling it, they carried on to the manor. The Carians were taken off guard, but their strength had not waned, and they repelled the Knights' onslaught by conjuring an enchanted snare that remains potent to this day. That is why I say, Tarnished, don't go near the manor, unless you wish to lie with the corpses of the heedless Knights of the Cuckoo.
What EG is talking about here is the siege on Caria Manor by the Cuckoo Knights of Raya Lucaria. This war that is commemorated by this sword monument close to the manor, as EG is saying, happened directly after the Raya Lucarians turned on Rennala, locking her in the library and taking control of the academy away from her.
Blythe actually did that, did he? Quite a rare occurrence for such a guarded soul as he. Perhaps he sensed something unusual about you. At any rate, if you're friendly with Blythe, I've something else that might suit you.
In case you don't remember, EG is also the guy Blythe told us to seek out all the way back in Limgrave for a favor. Knowing that Blythe sent us, he now sells the very useful Carian Filigreed Crest Talisman. We ignore EG's warning though, and as we are on horseback we can avoid the enchanted snare that killed all the foot soldiers of the Cuckoo, and we make it to the manor. I will cover the manor in more detail in a future video, as there is quite a lot to unpack here. However, for now, we are more interested in what's on the other side. We fight our way past some hand monsters and some Cuckoo soldiers that were turned into puppets to defend the manor, and make it to the royal moon-gazing ground. There, we take on an apparition of the Royal Knight Loretta. After defeating the apparition, we approach Ranni's Rise, which is guarded by glintstone dragon Adula. However, this dragon flees after we get it to half health. We can now confront Ranni at the top of her rise.
Oh, again we cross paths. I believe I said my name was Ranni when last we met. It pleaseth me to see Torrent hale and hearty, but tarnished. What business hast thou here? I have no memory of inking thee an invitation. I see. Quite the sleuth, aren't we? Indeed, I am the witch Ranni. I stole a fragment of the Rune of Death and used it to forge the god-slaying black knives through fearsome rite. I did it all. But sadly for thee, the curse mark thou seekest is not to be found here. I have slain the body I was born into and cast it away, and it is upon that flesh the curse mark is carved. And why should I reveal that to thee? I performed the act not to bury the past, nor in shame of the deed, but all the same, thy begging compels me not a jot. The curse mark thou seekest is not here. That is all I will say. Now, be gone.
It turns out we have met Ranni before. She just called herself Ranni back when she gave us the spirit collar bell. Sadly, what we are talking to is Ranni's soul in the body of a doll, with Ranni's real body that bears the curse mark we are looking for hidden at another location. As she's not willing to tell us that location, we report back to Rogier to see if he has a plan.
Always good to see you safe. So, what do you need? I see. When Ranni shed her flesh, she shed the curse mark too. You know, not everyone would trust such a tale. But if she in her current form is nothing more than the living doll you profess, then perhaps it's true after all. Forgive the bluntness of the notion, but how would you like to become one of Ranni's vassals? Only in order to get what we want, of course. The location of the body which bore the curse mark, which right now I haven't the faintest. And the best way to find out is for you to enter her service and take a poke around on the sly. I know you've got what it takes. Not only are you a superb fighter, but people want to trust you. I've seen it.
Now that is an interesting plan, becoming one of Ranni's vassals. So maybe we can find her body somewhere while working for her. Let's see if Ranni agrees to it.
Oh, is that so? Thou wouldst render me aid. Is that thy proposal? Affording thyself opportunity to grope about for the curse mark's location, no doubt. Very well. There's nothing wrong with a well-laid scheme. What's more, if my past and past wounds beckon to thee, I am curious enough to see what thy destiny portends. I'll allow it. Enter my service, and good hunting to thee.
We are now in the service of probably the most dangerous woman in the entire Lands Between. In the next episode, we will meet our fellow servants, see what Ranni is about, and maybe also find a reason for why she committed the act that truly started the downward spiral of the Lands Between. I hope you enjoyed this episode that showed an alternative start to the Ranni questline that not many people find in their first playthrough, even though in my opinion it makes much more sense narrative-wise. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, otherwise comment on how I can improve these videos in the future. Until next time, bye bye!